Hello, my poop-line friends. Adam here. Welcome to another video. We got something new for you today. This is a different format. In a few weeks, I will be playing a live stream up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. It's about 2 hours north of me at the Varsity Club, which is Tyler Steyer and his wife, Margaret Fefalova Steyer, their home club. It is going to be streamed on Outer Points Productions. I'll put a link somewhere here in the description up here somewhere to that channel so you can subscribe to it. And I will do some sort of video, probably a little 2 or 3 minute thing when I get the date that it's going to be announced. They're going to do the player auction on the 25th of May in 2025, and then they'll do the draw. Now, this is a unique format. They started this a couple of years ago, and they've done a number of different brackets and things. And this is finally the bracket that I'm available for. It's a 625 and under. Fortunately, in the last 6 months, my Fargo has dropped below 625. Unfortunately for me, I guess fortunately for tournaments and things like that. Depends on how you look at it. I see it as a bad thing. Other people see it as a good thing. We won't get into that right now. But they've done a number of brackets. In fact, right now they're doing a 499 and under. Has 64 players in it. It's a higher entry fee, $250, $300, somewhere around there. And there's a decent chunk of change for first place. They're doing a Midwest with a number of states. I think there's 8 states, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, Ohio, Michigan, Iowa, Indiana, and something else that I forgot, Iowa maybe. But they're taking 16 players from each state. They're going to break it down to finally get to the top 2 from each state. It's that one's like almost a $700 entry fee, and there's like 18 grand for first place. So these are some pretty big tournaments. The one I'm in is 16 players. It's hard to fill a 625 and under apparently, and I think it's a $265 entry, single elimination. But the format is unique in that it is a race to 4 8-ball followed by a race to 5 9-ball. And it's a best of 3 sets. So if the sets are tied after that, 1 set apiece per player, then it's a race to 4 10-ball. Now in 10-ball, if it's tied at 3-3, it goes to a spot shot shootout. Kind of similar to the Predator 10-ball Open and 10-ball World Championships that they've done, but those are a little bit different. I'll get into some of those things later, but those are all 10-ball. Obviously, this is potentially all 3 games. If I'm playing well, it won't go to 3 sets. If I'm not playing well, it also might not go to 3 sets, but Matt and I did this last weekend, and I'm going to head over to the table and we'll get this thing kicked off. All right, here we go. Fist bump and the opening leg. Now, a little bit different in this format than in the Predator one. The Predator one, it is winner break per set, but it's alternate break each set. So let's see, I'm going to win the leg here. I would break the first set. Matt would break the second. I would break the third. This series is winner break throughout. So if I were to, whoever wins the set is essentially breaking to open the next set for sure. But let's get this started. I'm giving Matt a spot in each of these based on our Fargo difference. So he's getting nice break there. Welcome to the 3D cue ball into your living room or lap or phone or wherever you are watching this at this time. But I'm giving Matt a 2-game set in the races to 4, so an 8-ball and 10-ball. And then 9-ball, I'm giving him a 3-game spot. I think I just said something wrong, but we'll go with that. So, first rack is a complete mess. It looks like he can take the 10-ball and try to break out this 9 and 15. It's tough to try to break them both out. I don't think the 2-ball goes past. The 2-ball breaking out this 7-ball would be nice too, but I don't think that goes past there. But every other ball goes once he breaks this, basically breaks these stripes out. Problem is there may not be another shot after this shot. Depending on what happens here, we'll see what happens. Yeah, he almost scratched, but he came back and he got a shot. He has a shot in the 15. He could play the 11 here. He could play the 14. I think the 12 goes on the left side. It was ice water. The ice melted. That tends to happen. I was going to say sponsored by water, but instead, I do want to announce a sponsor for this video. This video is sponsored by me. because this is all that goes into it. So anyone wants to sponsor me, let me know, but not really looking for that. Looking to do these, originally I think I talked about earlier on, started doing these videos as just a documentary of my own play, so I could go back and watch how I've progressed. And I've since gotten into narrating these things. Now, Matt, I'm going to give him an out here, and his excuse is he has not shot much since leagues ended at the end of March. Right now it's May 16th. And full disclosure here, this is the second time that I'm recording this. I had a recording done last night, and this is a long video, and I apologize for that. And I did not have an interface set up correctly in OBS, because OBS likes to forget things from time to time. And, oh boy. Speaking of forgetting things from time to time, let's forget that shot ever happened. But OBS likes to forget its inputs, and I did not check like I usually do. And I recorded 2 hours of me talking to nothing. Now, I'm sure a lot of you would have preferred that, but too bad. You got to deal with me. So anyway, back to pool here. Matt is going to have to use the bridge here. The 13 does not go past here. He cannot get to the 9. There's no shot on the 12, so he has to play the 15 bridging over these two balls. If he can hold it here, it'd be nice to get a shot on the 9. But he almost needs to play some outside English, which is right at this point, which is not easy to do with the bridge or bridging over two balls like this. I think he's going to clip, yeah, he clipped the 12 ball there, which is not a foul. We are playing cue ball fouls only. If he would have somehow affected the path of the shot, that would have been a foul, but I move it back because I know it means a lot. I think I actually moved it from where it didn't go to where it goes now, but this is a crazy backwards cut. Cue ball's kind of headed directly towards there. You can put some draw on it, and then the cue ball is kind of going towards the 8. But I don't know what else he has. There's no real safety here with the 2 ball down here, which Matt is blocking. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he can do other than if he can get around the 8, he could play cue ball here and at least, maybe come up here and not give me a shot. As it is, he was pretty close to that. But he leaves me kind of an open table here, which I'm not going to complain about. I don't know where I went. Actually, I do know where I went. This was the weekend of Mother's Day, but this was the Saturday, and I believe flowers that I ordered for my wife arrived a day early for reasons. Somebody doesn't want to work on a Sunday, understandable. And they came to the door. My wife had recent foot surgery, so she could not get off the couch and get to the door in time. And then they called me to letting me know. So I ran upstairs and got them. So I'm taking the 5 here. I knew I was going to hit off the 11, but as long as I don't mess with anything. Now the issue here is this 6 ball. Right now, the only real feasible pocket that it goes in is up here. This means I need to get down here, and I could try it here. Instead, I think I tried to go into it, but I went right through everything. I think I was trying to hit the 6 out of there, but I didn't, and now I'm in a little bit of trouble here. So I could play the 7, kind of stop right here for the 4 up here, play the 3 over and the cue ball down here for the 6. Looks like that's what I'm going to try. We played this match on May 10th of 2025, and again, I'm narrating it on the 16th. And this is the first match Matt and I have played since, or at least on camera, since February 16th. So it's been 3 months since we played. Now, I can only guess the reason that I stopped that there instead of following it up is that I thought I could go one rail back into the 6. I don't like that at all. I don't like hitting or trying to break out the last ball on a rack. I don't like doing this. And I think I should have followed the 4 up here more for a 1 rail, maybe kind of out here for the 6 up in this corner. As it is, I don't have a shot. I can't even hit it. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to kick it 1 rail, call it in the side, and hope it hits off the 9 or goes clean in the side, and then hope I get an 8-ball shot. But looking at this right now, it doesn't look like I'm lined up to even hit the ball. And I was correct. I hit the 9. I gave up ball in hand. Now, this is probably not good. If I mentioned before, or as I mentioned before, the tournament that I'm going to be playing in is a 16-person, 625 and under Fargo. A lot of the guys that are joining this have a couple thousand games in the system and are solid 600 plus Fargos. There are a few that are below 600, but they are probably even better shots than your standard, like a 585 from joining this tournament is better than a 585 elsewhere. In this situation, I would expect to lose this rack 80 to 90% of the time, having given up ball in hand with 5 balls left plus the 8-ball. Matt has a pretty good pattern here. Doesn't need to do anything fancy. He can go for, I kind of like going for the 9 first, but he's going for the 14 first. He's going to, I would have liked to do 9, 14, 11, and then maybe gone to the low side of the 8. He's going to do 14, 11, 9, and try to get on this side for the 8. The problem with leaving this 9-ball last is if you're playing it on one of these sides, if you get on the wrong side of it, it's hard to get on the 8. Like here, I would almost just come up a rail, leave the cue ball here, and then play the 9 down here, follow it forward. He went back, and now he's on the wrong side of the pocket line. So the pocket line's like there. Ideally, he would have wanted to be almost on the pocket line, just a little bit off so that he can just play the 9 on the side, follow it up, and play the 8 in this upper corner. Now his cue ball is going straight to the rail here. Speed is an issue here. It's really hard to get the cue ball to stop in line with the 8. So what I'm guessing is going to happen is he's going to bounce out, leave himself about here. We'll see. We'll leave my line on the table, see how close to the lollipop he gets. Yeah, pretty close. This is a doable shot. You have to hit it past the point. He's a little bit off the rail, which is better. You just don't want to hit it into the rail anywhere near this area. I think he's going to play it in the corner. I don't know what we're talking about here. As I've said in the past, I don't have the sound on for these. Mostly because it's commercial copyrighted music. I don't want it coming through the speakers into my mic, which it really won't. But I also don't want to be distracted by things when I'm narrating these things. So I put YouTube music, which is not copyrighted, at the end of these. And Matt just barely overcut it. He didn't leave me a great shot, but he certainly left me something I should get out here. A couple ways to play it. The first is if I'm feeling really good, I don't know if I have the right angle for this, is the draw straight out and back. The other way is if I want to be really tricky, play it around this way. What I think I tried to do is play upper inside, which was right, but I didn't stroke it well enough. I didn't get enough spin on it. So instead of coming down here and up, it went straight in the 8-ball, and I have no shot here. There's a couple different safeties. I can play the 8 to this. I can play the cue ball down like here, or what I'm going to do here is just play the cue ball real thin and play it like a straight inline safety, kind of containing safety where it's they're obviously there's no snooker when there's only one ball on the table, but short of going at a weird bank that I would have never made from that angle, if I could even hit the ball right without scratching or double hitting, I leave him this. Now, if I were Matt, I would try to bank this here, aiming for the top side of the pocket, and then send the cue ball here or like this, depending on the angle that he has. It's kind of a two-way shot. You're kind of going for the bank, but you're probably not going to make the bank. You want to hit it short so that it sits somewhere towards the bottom rail here. I hit it too short. and I think he hit the ball too thick and left me a shot here. Not an easy shot by any means, but this is something I should make 9 out of 10 times. Will this be the 1 time out of 10? It will not. This will be one of the 9 out of 10. Did hit the point on the way in, but it counts, and I'm on the board. I'm down 2-1 and breaking. As I said, it was winter break, so. Now, I was struggling with the break this day. I made a ball here, but my cue ball just had tons of spin on it, tons of follow, and wasn't too pleased with that. Now, looking at this up here is a mess, and for this reason, I want to take stripes because I can get to all the stripes except for the 13 right now, unless I can get above the 2. That isn't really hard, and I don't think I should have tried this. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go 1 rail into the 13 to bump it out, and I kind of decelerate, jabbed at the stroke, weird jabby thing, and instead of hitting the 13, I completely missed it. There's some song in here that's driving me crazy, so I'm changing it. And now I just got to figure out how to get on the 13. I can do it from the 14. I could even do it from the 15 maybe. If I was about there. I could do it here if I really wanted to, but I don't like this. I'd have to go 1 rail up and down like that. Instead, I overhit going to the 11. But I still have a shot, so I'm going to take the 11 here. The problem here is that in order to get on the 13, I think I have to leave the 12 for last. Especially now, because if I can't really come back easily 1 rail because the 3 ball's there, and it could do bad things. So I have to try to do 15, 14, 13, and then use the 12 as my key ball, which is the worst ball on the table right now for key ball for the 8 ball. Now I wanted this a little bit more straight so that I could just kind of follow this down. I think I'm okay though. I'm running into kind of the same problem Matt had in the last rack, where this speed off this rail is hard to judge. And I came out a little bit too far, a little bit farther than I wanted to. Now I do need some angle because I want to be able to bounce off the rail and come back out for the 12. But I also need to watch out for the side pockets. So I'm playing this with top and a little bit of left, but maybe quarter tip, half tip. And I don't believe I made that because it hit the rail like here and still somehow went in. I hit a pocket speed, which is basically what I mean by that is I hit it in the speed that the pocket would take it. If I hit that 100 miles an hour, it wouldn't have been anywhere near close to the pocket. Now, full disclosure here, I am trying to draw this straight back, but I hit it on the other side of the pocket, and this is why pool can be crazy sometimes. Because I hit it to this side of the pocket, it drew this way. If I would have hit it to that side of the pocket, it would have drawn this way, which is crazy because the pocket is only as big as a little bit less than 2 ball widths. These are 4.5-inch pockets. They are Diamond Pro Cut style. It is a Brunswick table, but I had my pool table guy redo the rails and add extra wood to them. And then put new facings on to get them to the Diamond Pro Cut specs. They are actually a little bit smaller. They're a little bit smaller than 4.5 in the corners and a little bit smaller than 5 in the sides. Now, that didn't seem like a break and run to me, but looking back, it was a break and run, and these big words on the screen tell me it was a break and run. So that was a scramble drill and a half to get all out there. Got a bunch more spin on the ball, and the 9 was like, nope, you are scratching. So I guess it was okay that I left the cue ball kind of in the middle of the table on the break, but you saw it was just spinning and spinning and spinning. The 9 ball hitting was obviously luck, but I did not hit that break great. You look at the spread, it's not very good. And I'm stuck with this. Now Matt's looking at ways to get out here, and really these 4 balls, if you can solve these, the 12 is another issue, but there's ways to get to the 12, and then these 2 and the 8 are open, so solids here are okay too. I mean, it's not, I would start with maybe the cue ball here and play the 5 And if it doesn't, well, look at that straight line. Sam, check it out. Sam is one of the commenters who makes fun of me for not being able to draw straight lines. And I may or may not call him out on every video that I do from now on until the end of the time. I think he is the Billiard Zone is his channel. So Matt's going to take the combo here, and then because he likes the combo so much, he's going to take the second combo. Now the thing to watch out for is where the 10 is going to stop and where the cue ball is going to go. Cue ball is naturally going to go this way. The 10 ball is going to naturally kind of stop or float a little bit that way. Now, if he hits a really light, the 10 ball can actually stop here above the 11, probably not exactly that angle. So you have to get the 10 ball to follow a little bit, but you got to get the cue ball not to go all the way to the bottom rail. And he did it well here. He was almost in trouble. I still would like to be 3/4 of a ball up, because then you can stun and just do a straight draw shot, one rail. Not draw, but a straight stun, one rail out for the 12 or the 13. And actually, if the 12 goes in the side here, he's almost out. The problem is he didn't put any stun on it. He just put straight top and a little bit of left and went into the 13, and now he's kind of in trouble here. I do think the 15 goes, but then it's a matter of what the next shot is. It looks like the cue ball is going right into the 9. If you can avoid the 9, it's going to come out this way, and I don't think he has an angle to be able to get on the 12 from where he is without hitting the 9. If you can get to the rail, I wouldn't mind bumping the 9 out, and then you either have, the 9 ends up here, you either have a shot on the 9 or the 12 on the side, depending on how it ends up. Yeah, he didn't hit the 9, he hit the 8, and then it's not frozen on the 12, but it's even worse. If it was actually frozen on the 12, he could just shoot this straight through if it goes. I don't think it goes. But as it is now, he has to shoot the cue ball this way, and hopefully he has the angle on the cut. These are really hard to judge with being so close to each other. It's hard to judge the angles of the cuts because you're not looking anywhere near the ball. You're looking, or the ball in the pocket. You're looking completely away from it. So you kind of have to guess here. And there is no other shot. The 9 is way too steep to cut. You don't want to bridge over the 12 and try to bank the 9 back. So he's going to try the 12 in the side. He might have a shot on the 9. What he probably wants to play this is upper left, so it comes up here, spins, and out. But the problem with that is the more left you put on it, the more it's going to throw the 12 this way. And it looks like the 12 may miss at that point. Looks like it might be drawing a little bit. Yeah, that was really close. He was in trouble. He didn't really have a shot after that. But what can you do in that situation? I think he shot it about as well as you can, other than making it and getting perfect leave. So what I looked at is if I stop this here, like these 4 balls I have to figure out, especially the 5. But I need to get the 7 out to kind of clear those. So if I stop making the 6, I have an angle on the 7. I don't think I have enough angle. I think I'm on the wrong side of it to bump the 10 or the 5 out. Yeah, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to go down and get an angle on the 4. I think, though, that I'm perfectly straight on the 4. Now, I suppose I could slow roll the 4 in here, stop the cue ball, maybe here, take either the 2 or the 5 on the side. Don't really like either of those options. I don't like slow rolling this off the rail. So I'm going to take the 2 here and just kind of hope I get out somewhere in this area for the 1. Maybe even the 3, maybe even the 5, but definitely have the 1. Almost no way to get snookered on the 1 at that point. Now I'm looking at the line on the 5 right here. If I get the cue ball where the 3 ball is right now, I have a good shot on the 5. Anywhere in this, like this first diamond line, Sam, that wasn't bad either. And if you would like to be called on one of my videos, just make fun of my line drawings. So I took a little bit of risk of getting on the wrong side of the 3. If I was more here, I would have to be going down more, and I'd have to play the 4 first. As it is, I think I can play the 3 and just kind of float straight down towards the 5, and I'm just double checking angles. Trying to see if I want to maybe draw this over to the 4 first and then play the 5. But I think I can hold the angle here and still get the 5 out of this. Yep. And now there's 2 ways to play this. If I can get past the 4, there's a 2-rail leave here. Otherwise, I have to kind of stun straight across, which is dangerous with both the 9 and the 8 there. So I was able to get around it. And now the ideal angle would be for here, cue ball coming in towards the 8 for the 8 in the side. And if I under hit that, it looks like I'm having to stun this. It looks like I don't have the follow angle. So I'm just kind of throwing it over. I didn't like the way I hit that. I didn't like the way I stroked it. I wanted the cue ball about here. Now, as it is, I have the 8 up here. The first time I narrated this, I said if there were balls in the way, like giant beach balls here, I wouldn't have this shot. But I think if that was the case, I would pay much more attention to where I had to get the 8s. I like to think so. I like to think I would do that anyway. But I think that was a mistake on my part. But I still drill the 8 ball and am now up 3-2 in this race to 4. I'm on the hill. Now, that was the best break as far as results, results of the cue ball goes, but I didn't make anything. Now, let me pause this. When we're looking at this table layout, the first reaction that I think a lot of people have is the 3 ball. Start shooting the 3 ball. And maybe you could hold it, leave yourself for the 1. Maybe you could come off the rail, go into this, open things up. There is my teacher's teacher who was actually my teacher at one point in my life, by the name of Jerry Brysath. He's in Arizona now. He was out of Madison, Wisconsin. Probably, I've heard people call him the godfather of modern pool instruction. Probably the most famous pool instructor, and who's taught a lot of the instructors that are out there, including my coach, Mark Wilson. He's Scott Frost, current instructor. He's taught everybody. When I was at his pool hall a long time ago, early 90s, he had people from Germany who flew in specifically for pool instruction. And as a 19, 20-year-old kid or whatever it was at that point, that just blew my mind that someone would fly across the country to learn how to play pool. Now I completely understand it. But anyway, he used to say, if you can't make all 8, do not make 6. And Mark actually on a recent broadcast on AccuStats just said, if you can't make 7, don't make 8. Or if you can't make 8, don't make 7, or whatever it is. I would argue that in this case, not to toot my own horn, but against a player of my skill level where I should be able to get out on an open table, you don't want to make 5 unless you can run all the way out. So what I would be looking at here in Matt's case is you want to establish suit first, and by suit I mean stripes and solids, but you don't want to try to run this out because the 7 and the 4 are nightmare balls to get on. Now you could get over here on the 5 somehow and try to break these out. You're not guaranteed a shot. You don't know where the cue ball is going to go. You don't know where the object balls are going to go. You don't know if this 9 ball is going to come up here and get the 2 tied up. You could try to, there's no pocket for the 4. You could maybe make the 5, come over here for the 4, stop it, and try to play the 7. But now you're worried about like a 1 or 2 ball position window, and actually that's bigger than a pool ball, which is not a good idea in 8 ball. You want options. You want to make sure you leave yourself more than one option, insurance balls, things like that. So what I would do here is I would look at how can I play safe early on and not expose myself. And I think what I would do is I would play the 3 here, either hold it or come off the rail and out, And then we're playing BCA rules, which means you can make a ball and call safety. I think I would make this 1 and try to glue the cue ball to the 10. Basically, depending on the angle, it's almost a stop shot, and then you're stuck on the 10 there. So that said, I realize this video is really long. This is probably the longest I've done, and but I wanted to kind of approach that because if Matt makes all his balls here, especially if he gets the 5 out of the way, all mine eventually go. So let's say he makes the 3, let's say he makes the 1, let's say he comes over for the 5, let's say he decides to come back for like the 6 and the 2, and then uses the 2 in the side, bear with me here, and tries to go into these, but then after that he doesn't have a shot. Well, he opens up my balls, my 10 has a pocket now, and then he has to try to play safe, but I have balls all over the table, there's no real place to play safe. He's the term that I've heard is you don't want to take all your soldiers off the board. It's almost like a chess game. It looks like he's going for the 2 first, which is even a little bit more problematic, I think, unless he can get all the way around back for the 3. And Matt, that was one of those strokes that we talked about. Go back right there, look at the stroke on the 2, and then also look at the stroke coming up on the 6. Now, the 6 is in a weird spot. I don't know if he can make it in the side. He can make it off the 3 in the side. In fact, if he plays this off the 3 in the side, the 3 could go here and break things out, and he could have a shot on the 1. But I remember this stroke, so watch this stroke here very carefully. What he wants to do is he wants to follow through. Instead, he's like pulling back like it's a plunger or some sort of thing, instead of a smooth follow through. Now we're still in a situation where none of my balls go down here. So I have to now figure this out. So actually, if you're going to miss, that was a good time to miss. But you don't want to miss on accident. You want to play safety on purpose. So I'm going to look for a spot here where I can play safe. Need to get that ball out of the middle of the table because it doesn't really help me any. But now I'm trying to figure out what the best thing I can do to either play safe or open things up. And I'm looking at this 10 ball. I can't hit it enough to cut it because the 7 ball is in the way, but I can hit it enough to go off the 1 and in. And then there's a chance I open things up, like the 7 can then go into these 2 balls and open them up. Now, I did look at this hit when I edited this, I went frame by frame back and forth. I did hit the 10 first. I hit the 10 first, then the 7, then the 10 hit the 1 and made a mess. And I was kind of explaining if I hit the 7 first, the 7 would have gone this way or straight up into the 13. But instead I hit the 10 first, then just skimmed off the 9. Or off the 7, sorry. So Matt's in a similar situation here where now the 7, the 4, and the 6 are in problems. I think what he's going to try to do is make this 5 and come one rail up into this. That's exactly what he tried to do. He hit the other side of the 7, which didn't help him any. It made it actually worse now. Now there's really no way to get on the 7. Even if he was down here like I was talking before and he played a stop shot, I don't think that 7 goes down here. I don't know if I would make this 3. If you can, okay, I see what he's doing. I joked about making the 6-14 combo because, why not help a friend out? This is a really good shot. As soon as he gets out of the way, he locked me on the 14. And I don't have a way. I mean, I can maybe try to cut the 14 here. Safety is going to be difficult because I can't really go off the 14 up table. Because the cue ball is going to come out here. It's going to kind of 2 rail out here. I can't get all the way around for another thing. So I'm going to try to play thin off the 13 with a bunch of right spin and have it come back up into the 7 ball. Now, in 8 ball, if we're playing 9 ball, you want to go for a snooker safety where you can't hit the ball and you can get ball in hand. In 8 ball, you just want to make sure he doesn't have another shot. So leaving him frozen on his own ball is fine. Now, I hit it in a weird way that I didn't get enough spin on it. I did not follow through. I think I could have followed through a little bit more, hit the 13 a little thinner, and had that right spin actually take. As it was, all the spin was off by the time it hit the cue ball hit the 13 ball. So I'm not sure the 6 goes. If the 6 went, I would have liked to look at it. Like if it goes here, I would have liked to be here on it, below this pocket line, so that I can make the 6 and then come crashing into these. As it is, if the 6 goes, now the cue ball is going around here for nothing. Yeah, he's barely gonna get. He's not gonna get the 1. All the oomph kind of went off that. If he was maybe here, he might have the 7 in a way to kind of stun it over the 4, but I don't think he has that. So I think he's calling the 7 cross corner here. And at this point, that's about the only shot he has. I don't know if he can. I don't think this window between the 4 and 8 is wide enough to mess with English on the ball. If you put, let's say, left English on it to try to hit the 7 here and have the cue ball come down and back into this, you're worried about, you're running into the possibility of the cue ball throwing right into the 8. And by throwing, I mean as soon as you hit the object ball, it's going to throw this way when you're using side spin. I think that's what he tried to do anyway. He tried to come back into those. I mean, it's not a terrible result because then the 9 and the 4 are still blocked up. The 13 does go, but it's hard to get an angle on the 13 to break the 9 out. What I'm looking at here, I should be taking the 15 here and then coming out with a better angle to get on the 13. But instead, I'm deciding to take the 13. I'm trying to go 1 rail and break this out, but I can't get past 8 here, as I was saying. And now I made these worse. So the 3 of these are now tied up and his solids all go. But then I look and I realize if I play a stop shot on the 14, leave the cue ball here, it's a lock-up safety. This may look like I missed the 14 badly, but I am not going to make this ball. In fact, because I'm trying to miss this ball, I actually drew it a little bit too far on this side of it, but based on the fact that the 14 hit the 1 and locked that up really good, I'm still sitting okay. I would have liked to be on this side of the 10. Now what I should have done is just called safe, and we talked about this in the beginning of this rack for Matt. I should have called safe, not worried about making the 14, and just played cue ball 100%, and if the 14 goes in, oh well. Doesn't really matter at that point because I called safe and I give up the table. So Matt has to kick this 1, and he kind of wants to kick it to make it or rail first to try to send the cue ball into a bad spot, which there really isn't any for me. He did exactly what I would have done, except I would have hit it a little bit harder, and he tried to make it. Hitting it harder would possibly leaving the cue ball on the rail here, which is about all you can hope for. At this point, I can make the 10, I can make the 14, I can even bank the 15 if I wanted, but this 14 has a 1 right angle to kind of go into these things, into the 8, yeah, to break those out. I remember this shot thinking that I could follow the 9 and go 1 rail and out for the 10, but looking at it, I think I should have tried to draw. 9's going up here. I think I should have tried to draw back for the 13 down here because the 13 does not go past the 1 here. I don't think it does, at least. So instead, I'm playing this with top and a little left, which is weird because it's going to throw the cue ball to the right towards this pocket. And I have to get really lucky here to not scratch. Instead, I hit off the point and I got really goofy on this. I don't like trying to make the 10 from this angle. It looks like it's okay, but it's really much steeper than that. I could, just a straight top, follow the cue ball kind of here, and out, but I really don't like... I don't think I can make the 10 here. I wasn't confident enough to make the 10 here. Looking back at it, I think the 4 does go. Actually, yeah. So looking back at it, leaving the cue ball here isn't really safe. But leaving the cue ball here is much safer because I'm on the bottom rail. I can't tell if the 4 goes or not. So that's what I try to do. I try to leave them on the top rail or bottom rail, however you want to call it, up there. I missed by a ball or two with... but this is still in a good line. It's not like if I would have left it here, he would have a much easier shot on the 4. I left it here. The 4 ball is the only one it can hit. And if you look at where the cue ball is going to go, the tangent line is going right into the 8 and sending the 8 dangerously close to that pocket. There's a lot of ways you can avoid trying to hit the 8 in. And I think I even said, oh, are you going to make the 8 here? We talk a lot of crap to each other when we're playing. Not in a mean way or anything. I think he was self-conscious in hitting the 8 and under-hit the 4 badly. And because he under-hit the 4, the aim was off and then hit the 13. So the 13 does go. I kind of like playing the 15 and using low left to go one rail into the 4, or into the 4, the yellow 4, the yellow 1 ball. But instead, I try to go all the way around, and I try to land up here somewhere, which I do really well. It almost looked like that. It's like fake English on there, but it was real. And now here, I'm thinking I have to punch this 1, 2, and out. Because I think if I do anything else, if I don't draw off this, I want to hit the 7 and then bad things can happen. But watch this. And I only know this because I just narrated this 24 hours ago. I somehow went straight up and down the table and almost hit the 10. And I'm looking at it like, how did I just do that? I was sure if I tried that, I was going to hit the 7 and then bad things happen. I mishit it. I don't think I put any draw on it at all. I must have dropped my elbow or something. Raised the tip of the cue and just put straight, like middle left on it. And it just went one rail and straight up. So what I have to do here is I have to kind of slow roll this. I don't want to jack up and try to stop this. I want to slow roll this past the 8 down here. Now instead I hit the 8, but I'm still okay. Could probably make it in the side. I'm probably going to take it in the corner though. The side is a really touchy shot. The corner I can kind of let my stroke out. I don't have to worry about scratching from this angle or anything like that. I can just kind of let the stroke out and shoot it. Hit the rail, but still pocket speed. It went in, and I win the 9 ball or the 8 ball set 4-2. I'm gonna take a quick break. I will be right back, but you won't really know that I took a quick break because I'm just gonna cut the video and whatever. All right, I am back. You probably didn't miss me too much. And we're moving on to 9 ball. This one is a race to 5. I am giving Matt 3 games on the wire. Decent result on the break, but not a very good break as it was. I did not like the way these balls didn't move. Now, I remember this. I put a new spot on like the day before Matt and I played on it, and what I usually do, or what I try to do when I put a new spot on the table, is I try to play with the template rack. In this case, we're using the Teom, or I'm using the Teom Max rack these days, or Magic Rack, or the Outsville AccuRack, to kind of train the table to learn the ball positions. That was terrible. That was terrible because I had no way to get from the 4 to the 5 after that. I was not planning on any of that. So I'll just chalk that up to being terrible. Instead, we just started playing with the triangle rack. We've been doing that more because all the tournaments around here use triangle racks, and we just want to get used to playing like that. In fact, let me pause this real quick. What I did not do, though, is we did not use the template rack, and as a result of that, a very quick indentation formed on the break, on the head ball on the break, and racking now is weird because it's not lined up. So I just wanted to point that out. Now here, Matt tried to cut the impossible cut in the side. It went about as close as it could. That was pretty tough. I have about a third of the ball I can hit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the 2 ball here. I'm going to use some left English and try to come straight across with the cue ball. And these 3 balls that are here now I'll turn into a nice wall. And there are a number of places that I could go here. I could have gone here and here, here and here. I mean, anywhere in that area would have been good. Hopefully I'm muting all the coughing out. I am getting over yet another respiratory infection. That was a good hit. Unfortunately, I opened up everything, but fortunately, I think he hooked me on the 4, at least enough that I can't hit the right side or our top side of the 2. But I'm on my I'm getting over respiratory infection. I'm going to be on my 5th. I think this is my 5th course of antibiotics. I'm finishing up for the year, and it's only May. Not really recommended, but that shot was pretty easy, though. In fact, I think Matt just said easy game right after I shot that. I don't know what my plans were other than to play the 2 off the 6. I think I was just drawing straight up the table to try. I don't know. But I'll take it. Now the table kind of works itself out. If I can make this 4, the cue ball is naturally going to float down here for the 5. 6 to the 8 is the only other issue. Now, I used to always try to get this angle where I was underneath the ball because you have a natural angle to just float here. What I've realized is the pros would much rather have this type of angle, because if you miss here and if you get too straight, there's a number of angles here you can get that are just bad. You can also get too steep and not be able to hold that ball. As it was, I was able to hold it okay. Now I need to come over for the 8, and I need to make sure that I get some sort of good shot on the 8. I think I'm going to err for overshooting this than undershooting this because I don't want to be here. I also don't want to scratch. I did not think I would pull that ball back. I thought I was going to just come straight across. I must have put some... I was jacked up over the 9, so it's hard to get a perfect cue ball there, but did not want to hit any draw on that. Now, as it is, I just need to make this, and it should come 1 rail out for the 9, or in this case, die off the rail because I didn't hit it right and come on the short side of the 9, which is still okay. I still have a shot. I'll just draw this to the rail and out. But anyway, I think my sickness last year and early this year has screwed up my immune system, and I need to my body needs to catch up. Now, oh boy, yeah. See, this rack has been brutal, and every ball now except for the one that went in is sitting almost behind this line. Now, 2 of them did go around the table, so even in those weird European rules where you have to do the 3-point system and everything, this would have been a legal break, but not a big fan of this. However, I do have a giant wall. There's 2 walls of balls here that I can use to play safe, and I think I'm going to play the 1 over here, cue ball over here. And those are pretty good lines. It's almost like I've done this before. And the nice thing about this is I've left Matt exactly one way he should hit it. He should not try to go this way. He should not try to go underneath and this way. Really, the only way to go here is 1, 2 into the 1. Now those angles aren't exactly right. It's probably gonna hit the rail closer down to here, but a lot of good things can happen if that's the best way to make the 1. If he thins off the 1 and gets more over here, the 1 goes this way, the cue ball can go back around where it is now, almost leave it in the same spot. He can hit it off the rail heavy, he'd go into the 2. Unfortunately, I think he tried to go straight at it, and he must have put some left spin on it to cut the angle off that much. Now, it's funny, I was just watching the other night a Filler, I believe it was Filler and somebody else match, playing the Bigfoot at Derby City, 10 ball, and he set up a combo similar to this, and everyone was, Mark Wilson and announcer was saying, well, this is the double kiss angle. Why is he doing this? Doesn't he know that? Yeah, I didn't know it either. I'm sure Filler knew it, but I thought I could get around that. I thought I could double kiss it down the rail, but instead I just have a one rail kick here, try to hit it and see what happens. And as it is, this is going to be not bad. Hold my arms up in triumph because I got completely lucky kicking it off the 7, off the rail, off the everything and back over. And Matt again has one shot here. It's going to be one rail into this. Now, you know, Efren could probably kick off the top half of this ball and go up here and over here. Unfortunately, Matt hit the 3 first. He did hit the 1, but he hit the 3 first. And we're kind of thinking about. Unfortunately, I do not have a way to go back on camera as we're playing to be able to check that. So we have to just kind of go based on the call. But based on the way the 3 moved so fast into the rail, there's no way he could hit it the 1 first. 3 would have gone more down table. So I'm doing is I'm drawing a little back so I can play the 3 in the side and the cue ball just past the 7 for the 5. Once I can get on the 5, I should be okay. Depends on where I can get on the 6. Ideally, straight on the 6 would be perfect, because then it's like follow forward a little bit, stop, or stop, follow, stop on the 9. I must be a little bit straight because I have to try to punch this out now. Or draw it out. I did not really see that as an option, but again, it's I've mentioned this in a number of videos, and you'll hear pro announcers announce this all the time. Not that I'm a pro announcer by any means. It's the angle that I see right now from the table and that we're looking at is much different than when you're on the table. But here's pretty good. All I got to do is make this ball, and I'm still in the same angle that I was kind of talking about before. I would have been here as opposed to, 8 inches away from there. No, I kind of like following this up and playing the 8 in the side, but for some reason I'm drawing this back. And I'm not drawing it back, I'm just stopping it. And I wasn't really feeling... I mean, I'm playing okay. I'm getting out. I had a break and run an 8 ball. I'm getting out when I should. But I'm leaving myself these questionable, not even questionable, kind of pretty bad scenarios. Now, I could try to cut this here, and the cue ball is going to go wee, and who knows where. I could try to cut it here, and the cue ball may go wee, and who knows where. So I'm going to have to put a lot of draw on this to kind of kill it, almost like a pinch draw. And it killed the ball off the rail and then came up, and pretty good on the 9 here. I'm not drawing it for angle, I'm drawing it to kill off the rail, slow down the cue ball movement. Even though it looked like I hit it pretty hard there, it can kill angle off the rail when it comes up. So I'm up, I'm on the board I'm catching up 2-3 now, and this is a race to 5. Yeah, I think I mentioned to Matt about the 1 ball and kind of making sure it doesn't move forward. I thought there was a rack where it might have moved forward. I didn't really realize it until after, and that might have been the last rack. Because these are not opening up the way they should. And I don't blame Matt at this at all. I blame the spot, and I blame the fact that we didn't, train the table to hold the balls the right way. So the problem with going for that shot without having a plan is that you're down here on the 2 with absolutely no way to get on the 3. So let me rewind this a little bit. All right, before Matt shoots, in rotation games, and actually even in 8 ball, but specifically rotation games, 8 ball or 9 ball and 10 ball, you should be looking 3 balls ahead. So right now you should be looking at, and it seems obvious when I say it, like you're going to play, there's 9 balls on the table, you're going to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, sure. But what you really need to look at is you need to play the 1 to get an angle on the 2 to then get position on the 3. And if you're not looking that far ahead, you're going to get stuck. Like Matt's going to look to cut this, probably just play straight top on it, the cue ball is going to come down here, and then what do you do to get from the 2 to the 3? Like even if the cue ball's here, You have to try a perfect draw shot to draw back here. Now, if you play it a little bit differently, maybe come back out here, you can then play the 2 up here, come 1 rail and out, or you can look to play safe here or on the 2 ball. But I think this is a problem that most people fall into. They're like, oh, I can make the 1, I got to shoot the 1 now, and I'll get a leave on the 2, and then they don't really think past that. So now Matt has a leave on the 2. He's going to almost scratch here, but he won't. But now what? Almost straight in. So you can't really jack up and draw from this deep into the pocket and this far away. You're taking your make percentage way down. You can't go forward because there's no way to play this. What I would do here, and again, I really apologize for pausing. I think these are important points that may help somebody in the future. I would play this to go cross corner and then play the cue ball straight up and down the table, aiming for that. And I guess best case scenario is you make the 2, you come up somewhere here for a leave on the 3. Worst case scenario is you miss the 2. I mean, not worst case, but I mean, the worst case scenario is you sell out the whole thing. But you also have the chance of hitting the 2 short, having it go here, having the cue ball come up and go safe somewhere. Even having the cue ball here, or the 2 ball here and the cue ball here where you can see the ball, is much better because you're not selling out a shot. Matt tried to go forward, and now he opened up the 3. Now there's no shot on the 2 here still, but I have a much better chance than if he would have planned out either a safety or planned out a better leave on the 3. And it's really hard to remember in the course of the game to keep looking 3 balls ahead, because as soon as you shoot the 1 ball, you still need to look 3 balls ahead, and that's the 2, 3, and 4. Now here I sold this out. I tried to get behind the 5. I didn't really care what the 2 ball was going to do, because if I was on the 5 like I wanted to, kind of bounce off the rail and in, I would have been fine no matter where the 2 ball would have ended up. But as it is, I kind of sold this out. Now I think Matt's learning based on his 1 ball shot. And I think he's just going to play this straight into the rail and have the 2 ball come out. Oh, he went the other way. This is going to be really good. That was dangerous because it's easy to hit that thick where the cue ball can kind of just come over here, and it's easy to hit that too hard where the cue ball then comes out here and it goes above. But he hit this really well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do the 2 rails into the ball, try to make it, or have the cue ball come up here. Like that. Except for I wanted to make it, or I wanted to hit it. I'm reveling at the fact that I missed the 2 and hit the rail and went in between these balls without hitting anything. That was pretty impressive. So this opened up pretty well. The issue is going to be from the 5 to the 6 here. But I think if he puts the cue ball like here and basically plays a stop shot, or kind of floats up right here, he has the 3 up here, stops again, and he has a 4, and then he can try to play up here for a leave on the 5 where he can get over for the 6. Part 1 successful. Now you want an angle on this, so I might even follow this up. You want an angle, but you don't want to be bridging over the 5 ball. I don't think I want to draw this back because you're more straight on to the 4 then. Yeah, now he's bridging over the 5 and he's on the 4 in more of a straight on shot. So if he was here, the angle's much easier. You cut it in, you just do 1 rail and out. As it is, now he has to kind of punch it. He's not bridging over the 5 as much, but he punches it. He did not want to hit the 5 there. That's kind of... It could have spelled doom. If the 5 ends up here, he has no shot. It could end up right next to the 7. But as it is, it looks like it's a pretty good combo. play the 5 into the 7. The 5 is going to come this way. The cue ball is going to come this way. And he can have a shot up in the corner on the 5 and instant position on, automatic position on the 6. Unfortunately, I went a little too hard. I think he still does have the 5, though, in the corner. Problem here is holding it for the 6 now becomes really difficult. You have to do almost a drag shot where you're doing a lot of draw, but the draw needs to stop just about the time it hits the 5. It kind of just comes off the rail and out. That's a hard shot to control, especially with this angle. And you see, yeah, he made it. Great shot, but with that more center ball, it comes out. I don't know if he has a shot in the 6. I think he does. The way he's looking at it, I don't think he can draw this out of here. I think the cue ball is headed that way, so I think he has to follow it and plan on running into the 9. And I think he's going to hit the 9 like this side and have the cue ball come out this way, which should be okay for the 8. But it looks like he's playing like center ball. Yeah, you see his kind of turned his arm and he drew it kind of stunned right into the corner. I think the only way to avoid that, he could have tried a power draw to maybe come out down this way, but I think the way to do it would have been to follow it and go right into the 9. And you can see he's kind of disgusted at himself, and he had a bad shooting day this day, and I kind of talked about should I even post this, but I think the format's good. There are a number of things that I pointed out and that I've already told him that he was grateful for, things that he didn't know he was doing, like the jab, the plunger jab, or what's that thing, a pogo stick, yeah, that thing. But anyway, we're tied at 3. Break has not been working for me, so I'm still breaking from the same spot, which doesn't make any sense. That break was perfect, except for I didn't make a ball. But I don't think Matt has a shot here. I don't think he can get past the 7, hit the 1. So Matt called a push. Something funny is about to happen here. His comment was, I just want to be guaranteed I make the 9 ball at least once in this match. So he did, but he kind of sold out the 1 here. Obviously, I'm taking the push. There's no way I would pass this up. I need to try to go 1, 2, and down. Or that. Not really happy with that. I don't think I really had a plan on where I wanted to leave the cue ball. I did the thing where I was like, I'll just get over there somewhere. I should be fine because the 2 and 3 are close together. So it should be okay. Here, I want to bank this down below the 5 and leave the cue ball right where it is. Instead, I hit the 5, and because I followed the cue ball a little bit forward instead of just stopping it, Matt has a shot on this too. Now, the 3 to the 4 is interesting. The 4 to the 5 is even more interesting, and I don't mean that in a good way. 2 to the 3 is kind of easy. But the 3 to the 4, I don't know if I would hit the 9 there, but as it worked out, this opened up things really nicely. Now we can basically play a stop shot in the 3 or follow it over here and then make the 4 down here and go over for the 5. I know he didn't mean to hit the 9, but as a result of hitting the 9, it actually worked out pretty well. The issue now is going to be the 5 to the 6. That was a really weird stroke. You shouldn't have to hit that ball that hard to follow it. It's more of a follow through rather than like a whatever this is called. That was more of a stun follow, or a stun run through, stun forward, whatever you want to call it. Now he's stuck. He has to use a short cue. He tried. He knew the wall was in the way, and he still tried to use his cue anyway. I'm intently looking at my phone. I think I was looking up a tournament or something. It all depends on how this 5 goes past the 4. Oh, well, now it doesn't. I think he was in a good angle if the 8 wasn't here to be able to come off the rail here for the 6. If he was even closer, I think that's where I'd want to be on this to draw it straight back. But because he hit the 4, or the 4 hit the 8, he has no shot here, and he just has to try to drift down. The problem with this is I think he's gonna hit the 8 ball. Yeah, and this isn't terrible. I mean, I could carry him the 5 and make the 8, but then the cue ball stays down here and the 5 goes who knows where. Hey, get off your phone. And actually, I was looking up a tournament that was at the Mad Apple in Appleton that I was going to go to on this day, but wasn't feeling well, breathing and respiratory issues, and I figured if I was at home and I passed out from not being able to breathe, at least I'm at home and I don't have to drive 2 hours up north and back down. We were talking about the tournament that they had there, which is an all-offense tournament. Stay tuned to this channel for a video on that. What I tried to do there is I tried to get behind the 6, but this is still fine. This is that shot I was talking about a couple games ago where he doesn't have a shot here. Like, what are you going to do here? You could maybe play the 5 up here and the 1 over here, but that's kind of a tough safe. You could try thinning off this side of the 5, playing the 5 this way, the cue ball 1 and 2 up here. That's a tough safe. You could go at the bank and just one rail bank it up here. That's a tougher position on the 6, although he didn't really have it. Or you could just play safe, leave it behind the 9 ball. And I'm on the wrong side of this ball to try to do anything special with, so I'm going to go grab the jump cue. But I realize, as I'm down in this shot, like, what good is jumping this going to do? It's going to make the 5, and then what? And then the cue ball is here. I'm not really great at drawing, so I would have much better chance punching off the rail and coming out, but then I still don't really have a shot on the 6. So I realized, you know what? If I make this 5, it's no good for me, so I might as well kick at it. This pocket's pretty big. If I hit the ball anywhere in this area, I have a really good chance of making it. I'm just going to one rail kick it here. If somehow it gets tied up to the 8, cue ball might come around here and get safe. Instead, I just get dead center pocket perfect and then a 3 rail leave for the 6 in a great angle to get on the 7, and that is how you do it, folks. Not like I planned that. I mean, I kind of did plan that. I didn't plan it to go that well. Now here I would have liked to get a little bit better on this 7 so I could just draw straight back. As it is right now, I'm trying to draw this way and out. I'm trying to miss the 9. Watch what happens here. I won't rewind this because this video is going to go long enough, but hit your left arrow key on your YouTube, or double tap or whatever you need to do, and go look back at that shot. It hit this point and went straight up the rail. The cue ball hit the 9, but still somehow came out perfectly for a leave on the 8. Yeah. This shot, with the extension having to be stretched over the table, I want to use top more than I want to hit bottom, because bottom, it's much easier with the weight of the cue being different to drop your elbow, and then you get no draw and you leave the cue ball like here. As it is, you have to put a lot of follow on it. You saw how much I did because the 8 was so, or probably here was so close to the rail. I had to put a lot into it. I got an okay shot in the 9. It isn't great, but it's still makeable. And I usually play those with inside to cut the rail off, or cut the angle off as it comes off the rail. Helps me make the ball easier. I don't recommend it. So this is my last break of the match. I finally moved my break location, and it doesn't help. But the way it is, this isn't terrible. This is not a makeable one. I don't think you can stiff this up enough to have it go here. What is he trying? I think he's trying. I don't know what he's trying. I know he's trying. That's a tough shot. He was trying to go either before or after the point down over here and use the 8 or the 9 and 2 as cover. The problem is that side pocket just opens up there. So what I'm looking at is the 1 of the 2 to the 3 is almost impossible. If I can get here on the 2, I could probably draw over here. I think the 2 goes past the 9. I don't see why I would play this if it didn't. What I was trying to do is I was trying to go into the 3 and pop the 3, go directly into the 3, pop the 3 off the rail a little bit, figuring I'd still have the 2 and then I'd have a way to get back on the 3. Instead, I made the 3 worse. So I don't really know what I'm trying. I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to draw into the 8, which has the cue ball go back up here. But instead I missed, and I have this. Now, I am trying to play this cue ball safe, and I'm trying to play the 3 ball somewhere up in this general area. I'm drawing straight back. This is about as a good result as I could have expected, and even better than I ever thought it would happen. Now, we were both looking at the 3 ball because I was sure the way I hit it was going to go in 2 rails. It almost did. It came off here and came out. But the cue ball off the 7 like this is just kind of brutal. Now, Matt and I looked at this a while. We talked about it, and I've gone over this in my other narration that I did that no one will see because there's no sound. I think the best shot is if he can do this, go past the 7 to this rail and hit the 3. This is a hit and hope shot. There is no resafing here. The other option, if he can masse, is to go here and directly at the 3, and maybe you hit the rail and spin it in. As it is, he's doing like the double CW, the World Wide Web shot, and trying to go 3 rails into the 4. 1, 2, 3 into the 3 ball, and he hit the rail here, but that was really, really close. That was a matter of an inch off this rail would have maybe made that ball. Now, unfortunately for him, this leaves this wide open, but I played a good safety. I didn't expect it to be that good, but my safety's potentially going to win me this game. Here, I'm going to draw 2 rails back with low right, which is outside spin, kind of coming this way. Didn't get to the rail as much as I thought. I put a little bit less power into it, which I think is what did that. Here, I'm going to come off 1 rail and just kind of come out here for the 6. I do not want to be this straight on the 6. Ideally, I would have been like here, because then I just do one of these 1 rail yo-yo drill shots out here. As it is, I have to draw straight back to at least here. Instead, I just get all of it, and I stroked that really well. Unfortunately, I did not need to stroke that really well because now I need to get to at least here. Here might work. But again, the draw is working today. And I'm still fine, but I'm 3 feet away further away from the ball than I really needed to be. This is just a 1 rail above the 9. Now, I like to play these 2 rails and out, but this is fine. I have to take the extension off. I usually play with a 3-inch extension on my cue. That's based on stance, arm width, leg length, the way I play. And my walls are a little short, so sometimes we have to use a short cue. A lot of times I have to take the extension off. But I win the 9-ball race, 5-3. If you've noticed, I have won 9 games in a row now because I won 4-2 and then 5-2. And before we start 10-ball, I will be right back. All right, I'm back. We're starting 10-ball. I like to break from the middle of the table on 10-ball mostly. We're going to run into this rack issue again. I get a really good break, really good cue ball, really good spread, but didn't make anything, and that's just kind of how 10-ball works. I think I said I won 9 games in a row, 4-2 and 5-2. It was 4-2 and 5-3. If I did say 5-3, then don't worry about what I just said. Just take one of them. here we're in a similar spot that we were last rack, where getting from the 1 to the 2 to the 3 is near impossible. So we need to figure out a way to not have that happen. Now, I think I like going at making the 1 and just play straight top and just going at this 2 ball, or going this way. I actually like what he did there, what he tried to do there. He tried to hit the 1 into the rail, and he was playing almost all cue ball, where he was just trying to have the cue ball come here and into the 3. And if it comes past the 6 into the 3, that's a really good safe there. So I'm faced with the same situation where I don't know what good it does to make this 1 ball. I could do almost the same shot where I try to cross the 1, I'll call it, and then play cue ball down here. Looks like I'm trying to make it. Yeah, I'm trying to make it. It must have been a pretty straight in shot, or I thought it was okay, and I don't like any part of this. Now, I do have a 2-10 combo, but we are not playing early 10s. We are playing, if I were to make the 10, then a 10 would spot, and I would shoot from there. Don't know if I like that. The combo is not really a good shot, and it doesn't really help me. So I'm playing the 2 here, the cue ball this way, and under the 7. Unfortunately, I overhit both, and I left Matt with a straight-in shot. Now, granted, he can make the 2, but what is he going to do with the 3? So this is one of those shots that comes up in rotation a lot, where I think I would bank the 2, call it in this pocket. We're playing 10 ball, it's a call pocket game, and the cue ball send this way. Now I'm drawing the exact lines where you need to play perfect safety. But a lot of good things can happen when you play it. Now here, Matt opened up the 2. Now fortunately the 3-7 got tangled up. There's no way to make the 3. And I'm not, like, if the cue ball were here, like a 4 times the size of what it is right now, I could play 1 rail into the 7 or 1 rail into the 7-3 or whatever. As it is, they're pretty straight. So I'm just kind of drawing back so I can play a safe on the 3. What I'd like to do here, I'm playing the 3 up this way. I'd like to play the cue ball like a little stun forward just so it kind of floats under the 7. Instead, I kind of just played a stop shot on it. It's frozen to the 7, but it does make things harder. He can't really 1 rail kick this because he's going to be bridging directly over the 7. So I think what he can do is he can go here with left spin and out. What I would do in this situation is I'd call the 3 in the side. I'd try to hit a half ball hit, and there's a chance the cue ball can come over here. You've seen the pros do this a lot. Jason Shaw is like a master at this. Josh Filler's a master at this. Shane Van Boning's a master at this. Federer, all the top players know this shot. Efren kind of really started this with Jose Perico and Efren back in the older days. He hit it a little thick there, but the result is going to be perfect. A little thick to get behind the 9, but at our level, I don't think we plan on being able to pull that off. But these 2 balls make a really good wall. I have to now 1 rail kick into this like this. Now, if I can hit the 3 dead on, straight on, like over here, I can play the 3 off here and maybe get safe. Not like that. As it is, though, the 3 is not an easy ball to make right here. I remember doing this last time. So the line from the point to the point is here. So the 3, I did draw a little bit above. The 3 is above the point line a little bit, but I think it's a pretty easy way to scratch if you try to cut it here. I don't think you can back cut it into the side. I think it's too far forward for that. I know Matt's looking at, his first thought is, how do I make the ball first? So he's going to try to bank this here, but I'm not sure. The problem there is you sell it out if you miss. If you play a low left stun, try to bring the cue ball here, 3 ball is going to come out and maybe go over here, and you can maybe get safe. Problem with stopping the cue ball there is you're going to sell out a shot a lot of the times, and that's what Matt did here. It's one of those, what do you do? And the saying is, you don't want to lose the game on a phony safety, which is what Danny DiLiberto always said. And if the safety is as hard as the shot or harder, you should just go with the shot. Now, if the 6 wasn't there, he could have tried to make the bank and draw it, but with the 6 there, it kind of limits what you can do with the cue ball. Now I got a little goofy on this angle on the 5, and I have to go up to the top rail and down. The problem is I don't want to get caught behind this 9 ball, and because of that, as a pool player, you tend to go out of your way to miss that angle, so you miss it wider. So instead of coming up and getting tight in on the 6, I end up getting further away from the 6 because I'm so afraid of hitting the 9. I don't think I put any side spin at all on that, which is what I really needed to do in order to make that, in order to get the angle to come over closer to the 6. This isn't an impossible shot, and there's natural position, kind of playing just the top ball on this, but it's easy to overcut it and miss. Now, I got lucky because I did not leave him a shot. I did not leave him. It's really hard to masse around this 7 and hit the 6 because of where the cue ball is. Try to draw a line. It's on the other side of where you really want to be able to masse around. Now, I was playing a 9-ball tournament about a month ago or so, and I goofed up and left cue ball here, 9-ball here, 8-ball here in this. I mean, these lines aren't obviously bad, but in the same kind of spot that these balls are in. And this guy didn't have a 1-rail kick because he was so close to this rail. He Z-kicked it, went like this above the 9 and went down here and made the 8, but he came out in a way that he couldn't make the 9. I think Matt should 1-rail kick this like this and go at the make. You're kind of aiming to hit the rail before the 6. Cue ball hits it, it comes out for the 7. Instead, he's trying a really touchy safety where he needed to hit the 6 more on this side. And the problem is if you hit it too hard, because of where the 6 is, it can very easily scratch off the 6. So I think he underhit that, being afraid of the scratch, and because of that, didn't hit it on the right side of the ball that he wanted to. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a second, and I will tell you when to reopen them. Something really bad's about to happen. You don't want to look at it. Okay, you can open them now. So I did the jabby, pokey, stabby thing, and I miscued, hit the 7 right into the rail, did not really draw back, kind of weird miscue, drew straight up the table, and 100% stroke related. I may have hit the wall on my backswing, but Matt decided to return the favor and got pokey, stabby, jabby at the 7 instead of a smooth follow through. And as a result, if you hit this rail, hitting it with that force and that spin or lack of spin, it's going to miss almost every time. Now there, I would have liked to have played this on a much different angle because I don't have a really good angle to get on the 9 to be able to get back on the 10. So I just have to kind of force this way, and now I'm in a weird spot. I can't draw it past the 10 without hitting it. I don't really like going back and forth, so I'm going to draw this into the 10 and hope. Sometimes you just got to gamble when you're playing pool, and this isn't terrible if it keeps going. And as I say in a lot of my videos, put the money ball about where it's racked, which is, anywhere in this area, and practice hitting these in from all over the table. It will make you much better at these shots. It'll make you much more confident in these shots that you don't worry about, oh man, I'm off. What am I going to do? And thanks to my training, I think I drained it and I'm on the board. Now again, in this set, I'm giving Matt a 2-game spot and a race to 4. wee. That break was much worse than the first one. It looks like the balls are spread out really nicely, but I hit that really bad and I almost jumped it off the table again. Just some days the break doesn't work, and some days you just aren't hitting it right and you just don't know what's going on. Let's see what Matt has here. There's no offensive shot here. And Matt, I'm proud of him, but I'm also mad at him for doing this to me. He hit that about as well as you can hit a safety. It's if not frozen in the 9-ball, I might as well be frozen in the 9-ball. And with this 5 here, this is just about as good as possible. I don't really have a 1 rail into it because the 4 is in the way. I joke that I'm going to hit it off the point and then go here and here, which is kind of funny. But normal people don't try that. So I am going 3 rails or 2 rails into this 1, 2 into the 1, and I'm calling the 2 ball in the corner. Chances of making the 2 ball are somewhere in the negative 14.5% range. Chances of hitting the 1 ball are somewhere in the negative 6.8% range. Those numbers I made up. It was a study that I just concluded on my own right now, and I posted the results to you. I do have a lot of the cue ball to hit, but I didn't miss it by much, but that was just a great safety on Matt's part. Give him a little golf clap. And I'm more proud of him for going at the safety than I am for executing it, but I'm equally as proud of him for executing it, because normally he doesn't think about shots like that, especially right away in the 1 ball. He'll go, oh, I can make the 1 and then I can make the 2, and then I'll figure out what to do from there. And then now I think I've created a monster because he's doing it again. He just needs to make sure he doesn't hit the 2 with the 1 ball, because the 1 ball could go in. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, he got the 1 ball in a good spot. He got the cue ball in a good spot. He didn't get it as tight as before. Ideally, he would want to be tucked up in here again. And I think this hit would have even been harder than the first one because of where the 3 and the 6 are. But as it is, I think I'm going above the 3, down to the rail, into the 1. I'm calling the 2 ball. And if it works and I make it, the cue ball might float up here for a shot in the 1. I hit it kind of hard because I wanted to make sure I got it, and I snooker myself on the 1. But that is the reason why you shoot those shots 2 rails below going into them instead of trying to shoot 1 rail directly at the ball. It opens up the path to hit the ball, and then things could happen. Like, let's say I missed the 2 and I left him here on the 1. This would be a great shot. Now here I called the 7 ball because why shouldn't I call something in 10 ball? And I'm just aiming to 1 rail kick it and try to get separation. If I get good, maybe the cue ball floats up here. Cue ball went off the rail, almost floated up there, but this is still a good result. There's a really, really touchy safety here Matt can try. Just playing the 1 up here and trying to float the cue ball 1 rail into the back of the 8. If the cue ball were here, if he could reach it, I'd like this shot a lot more than if you're essentially 5.5 feet away. Going at this to make it isn't bad either, because the cue ball can maybe go behind the 5 and 9 again, and the 1 ball has this 7 ball to go off to try to make it a bigger pocket. Unfortunately, I think what he tried to do is kick it or cut it, but he cut it too thin and he kicked it, and because nothing hit the rail after contact, it's ball in hand for me. And we're discussing that. I'm like, it's ball in hand, right? And yeah, it hit the rail, it hit the 1, it hit the 8. Neither the 8 nor the cue ball or the 1 or any of the other 7 balls hit a rail. So I do have ball in hand. Now the 1 is a weird ball to try to get. It does go past the 7, but then I would have to try to get on the 3 and then back to the 4. So I'm just going to take the 4 out of play right now. What I have to worry about is making sure I get a leave on the 1 and making sure the 1 is not straight in. think the one is pretty straight here, but I can play a rail first, kind of off here, and just, this is going to be a little bit of like upper right spin. And I almost missed the one. I've missed those shots plenty in my life. But I think I'm on the 3-ball where I can just float over here for the 5 up. And if I get over like here, which is ideal. In fact, I'm going to leave these lines on this ball mark on the table. Look at that. And yes, I have narrated this once before, but I still remembered exactly where I put it. This is really good because I can make the 5 up here and just float the cue ball over here for the 6. Key shot is I have to make the 5, and I kind of shot that not as smooth as I would have liked. I could have taken some speed off that, shot it more smooth, and would have had a nice nice leave. I think we're talking about this was the Tyler Styer Joshua Filler match where in the UK Open where Styer was down quite a bit and came back and beat Filler. I still have to go watch that. I was hoping Matchroom would post a preview of that or highlights of that, but they haven't. This is a tough leave right here. You have to jack up and play low right and come one rail and off. The other possibility is you play straight middle ball and come over here, but the 8-ball gets in the way there. And then Matt tried to pinch it to make it, and he got kind of goofy on this. But he didn't leave a great leave. It's not a great leave for me. This is pretty good. What I can do is I can play one rail, like play the 5 this way, cue ball one rail back here, 5 somewhere over here, and hopefully use the 8-ball. I went dangerously close to the 7, but look where the 5 ends up, and that's pretty evil. And Matt says I have an evil laugh when I make a good safety, but maybe I was under the weather, and maybe I'll have the evil laugh as a highlight feature of the show. Now, I think Matt can one rail kick this, but there's no real benefit in that because he kicks it in a, well, it's not going to do that, but it goes into the 5 or off the 5. It's really hard to get safe. So Matt's playing a pretty smart shot where he's playing the 8 just into this cluster. Now, it's really tough to do what he did because he's 8 feet away from it. And speed control is really tough there because he has to hit a rail. And either the 5 or the 10 hit the rail. I don't remember which one. But he left it in a way that I can't get the cue ball in here to make the 5. What I'm trying is a shot that's really not really possible. I'm trying to hit the 5 and carry him into the 8, have the 8 go in the corner. Instead, I hit the 5 way too thick. Now, I do screw up the 8, and I don't really leave him a shot in the 5, but I don't like the way I did that. I think maybe, you know what? I said I wasn't going to do it. I lied. I don't know if I think I can get a cue ball under here, and I think if I could do that, the 10 looks like it's maybe play the 5 into the 10 and draw the cue ball back just a ball or so, and do that. I think I like that better than this because I don't think this worked. I think the carom only works with the 5 if the cue ball is below the 5, or it's hitting below the 5 into the 8. I think I'm doing all the weird physics in my head. It's lonely in here. Now, for Matt, there's a couple different safeties that I like here. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to bank it, and I wouldn't blame him for it. Just bank it cross side. I kind of like going one rail down here with some draw and aiming right at the 10 ball. The other one you can do is kind of, not like that. Kind of off the 5 and down here below the 6, or even all the way over and below the 9, and then the 5 is going to go up here somewhere. You can get relatively safe-ish there. And that's what he did. He did the second one where he's, if he would have gone a little bit further up, he would have snookered me. But the reason I like going into the 10 is because if I get safe, it probably breaks this 10 away from the 8. And if I get ball in hand, now I don't have to worry about breaking out that 8 or getting short side on it. Here I don't have a great shot, but I have a big pocket with the 7 in the way. So I'm going to do the shot that basically Matt tried to do on the 1 ball. I try to cut this in, and I use the 7, and I just, by the slimmest of minuscule things there, missed the 8. So I definitely will break it out on this shot, because all I need to do is draw into it and kind of float over there. And no, I'm going to miss that too. So from here, there's no way to break the 8 out. If the 7 were a little higher, I could maybe try banking it and just kind of floating it down into it. What I have to try is I have to try this Z leave. Trying to hit right about where my chalk is, kind of between, right in this area on the rail, and have it just open up and float down there. But it didn't really open up. I don't know if I had the wrong spin on there or if I hit the 7 a little too thick. But here, I don't have anything. There's no way to make this. So I'm going to try this shot that I hate watching people make, because it's such a tough shot, where you're trying to split the balls and put the cue ball on one side of the 10 and the 8 on the other side of the 10. Naturally, I hit the 8 too thick. I did leave Matt a hit on the 8, but he cannot make it. I don't know how much of the ball Matt can see, so it's hard to say what he can do here. There's a YouTube shot where you thin the 8, have the cue ball come back and hit it back into the 10, but that's for guys who have the time to make a shot a million times in a row. I think I might just kick this and call it 10 ball. And you're not going to win the game, but you're going to be able to keep shooting. I don't know what he was trying there. I think he was trying to hit it much thinner than that and leave the 8 more down here and have the cue ball come up. But he hit it too thick. Now here I don't think I should try getting above the 8 or the 9. Oh, I did anyway. Okay, I must have more angle than I thought, because that was pretty good as far as being able to follow it and come back up. Here I just need to make the 9. I have a 10 ball shot from almost anywhere that I land on, and got even better by putting some top on it. The natural flow of those balls is for top, so I'll hit top on there, and this is gonna make it even at 2. Kind of a rough game, but 10 ball can get like that. That's why this format plays one more game of 9 ball and one fewer game of 8 ball and 10 ball, because they can get into safety fests pretty easily. I wrenched the cue ball over to the right side there. Almost made a ball this time, but still I'm breaking dry. If you take a look at this link up here to one of my ghost matches, 10 ball recently that I posted, my break was really working, and I was making at least 1 ball, and in some cases 3. I won a 10 ball tournament a couple of weeks ago, and that was one of the practices for that. One break I made 4 balls plus the 10 ball, which didn't count, and then I had to spot the 10 ball, and it was in my way, and I had no shot. Speaking of having no shots, there is a mess here. There's no way I should ever try to kick this, because it's almost instant scratch unless at the top side of it. So I have to just try to hit the 1 ball and see what happens. Double kiss is pretty big. I think I tried to stop it right there on the top of the 3 and have the 1 come out, but double kiss there is kind of giant. Now here, I would like to see Matt play this into the 8 and the cue ball into the 2. The 8 should get a rail, or the 1. You would have to hit this really soft and really out of the way to not get a rail on this. I think Matt is trying to carry him the 5 on the side off the 1. Instead, I don't even get up. So then the way 10 ball works is it's a call shot game. It's not slop like 9 ball. So if he didn't call the 8 ball, or even if he didn't say exactly that, I have the option to then make him shoot again. So if he hit his ball, it was a legal shot, but he made a ball that he didn't call. Because of that, I have the option to make him shoot again. Now, Of course, if he called the 8 off that weird double kiss, whatever just happened there, it would still be a shot anyway. But there is no, like an 8 ball, you can call safe, make a ball, and it's your opponent's turn. That is not the case in 10 ball. If you call safe and you hit a make a legal shot and something goes in, it is still your shot. He's forced to kick here. It's going to be like a 2-rail kick here. I would probably call it down here. Let's see what happens. And as it is, I pay the price for making him shoot again, but there's no way you take that shot. There's no way you take the 1-ball kick there. Matt hit it really well and got rewarded. It went out to 7. I got safe. Now I'm calling it over here. I'm going to go again this 2-rail. I'm probably not in the side pocket. I think we're going past the 9 down here into it, and good things can happen like this. Now, if I hit the ball, I gave him a shot here, but if I hit the ball a little bit thinner, the 1 goes this way and the cue ball goes past the 2, and I'm in a pretty good spot. What we're looking at here, though, is Matt has no way to get on the 2, really, except for drawing around the 6 and maybe around the 9. But instead, he played a center ball and he hit dead into the 6. He might have been going into the 5 too, but because he hit the 6 there, it screwed up everything. I think he can hit the 2, but I don't know what he can do with it. A really super touchy shot, which I don't know if he has an angle for, is go off the 2 here and go 2 rails behind the 4. Not going off the table like this. Like, you don't want to be playing around over here or anything. But that's scary, because if you hit it too thick, it's going right in this corner. I think he's blasting away at it. Oh no, I think he did try that shot. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a touchy shot. He needs to hit it a little thinner. And I think, as we see, his shooting is just a little bit off. And like, if you're missing balls by a diamond, it's pretty easy to realize what you're doing and refocus. If you're missing by just a little bit, in that case, a couple millimeters, it's really hard to adjust and fix it. So here, I just wanted to make sure I had a shot. I knew if I hit the 5 and stopped the cue ball, as long as the 5 didn't go this way, I would have a shot on the 3 to try to be able to get on the 4. What I'd like to do here is I'd like to go 1 rail and out past the 9, but before the 6. Instead, I went right into the 9. I think I have enough here to spin it around the 9 to make the 4. The problem is then the cue ball is kind of questionable where it goes. Does it go here and out? Well, not like that. Or does it go here? Or, oh, I thought I was going to scratch for sure there. So this is one that I talked about in that 10-ball ghost video that I talked about, or the 9-ball ghost video. In fact, I'll post a link to the 9-ball one just in case it's there, where instead of trying to run rails here, if I just play a stop shot, almost missed it. I avoid scratching, I avoid getting stuck on the rail, I avoid under-hitting and over-hitting, and I know I have a leave from the 6 that can get to the 7, because I'm not going to be straight because the angle wasn't straight there. So now I can just kind of pop out 2 rails. I just don't want to be straight here either. Probably going to go just do this. Hit that pretty hard. On a 7-foot table, I probably would have tried to come out down here to play to purposely overhit it, to try not to hold that angle, because a 7-foot diamond, especially with the bouncy rails, is really hard to hold that ball. But as it is, I was perfect angle on the 9 to get to the 10, and I'm going to take the lead here, and I'm going to go up on the hill in the 10-ball set. Now, when I talked about this whole match, in the actual tournament this is in, the match would have been over after the 9-ball set because I won both sets. But Matt and I agreed starting out that we would play all 3 sets no matter what. Wait. I have made a ball on the break in 10-ball. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do the shootout after this. So That's why the video is much longer than it needs to be. But we decided to play all 3 sets almost like a separate set and not a match style. So here I made the 2. I lost control of the 1. I did break from the side over here, which is a different break that I have. I remember not being able to make this, so I just win as much of the ball as I can. If I make it, great. If I don't, I get lucky. But I remember telling Matt, like, I don't know if the ball went or not. I just aimed to hit as much of it as I could, knowing I was going to get this 1 rail. If it goes in, I'm going to have a leave on the 3. If it doesn't, maybe, hopefully it gets safe. Hopefully it doesn't just bobble in the pocket. And I got kind of the best of both worlds there. It looks like this angle is a little bit steep, but I think Matt can spin into this. This is like max left spin. You have to really stroke this ball. You cannot poke at it. It's not a hard shot. Exactly like that, except he just wanted to hit the rail a little bit more to our left of the ball to his right. Because if you hit that and then if you hit the rail first and come off, he kind of hit the rail and the ball almost at the same time there, which is why this happened. But if you hit the rail a little bit first before the ball, you can either spin it in or the cue ball can come out this way. Now there I was trying to play, yikes, I was trying to play it between the 5 and 10. I got lucky I didn't scratch there. Here I don't know if I'm trying to hold this for the 4 or if I want to come all the way down and back. Not into the 5 like that. Yeah, I went all the way down and back and I missed and I went to the 5. That was pretty terrible. I think one of the things I get on Matt for, and the reason I call him the jabby pokey stroke that I do sometimes too, and I just did it there. When you are shooting your cue, it's supposed to be straight through with a nice smooth motion. I don't know why I have my hand up here like I'm holding a bass guitar. I could get my bass out and play pool on the bass. When you are doing this, if you tense up right at the moment of impact, you tend to turn your wrist just a little bit, but a little bit in pool is a lot, and you can get yourself in trouble really easily like that. Now this shot was great. I remember thinking that Matt could like go right into the 7 and have the 4 come out this way. This is even better because this cuts off this. I can't go 1 rail at it now because the 10 is blocking that. So I have to go past it and then just hope. So I think I'm calling the 7 ball here because you might as well call something in 10 ball. And I'm basically going 1 rail at the 4 directly into the 4, and hopefully if all goes well, if cue ball stops up here, the 4 hits the 7 and goes this way. Or I hit it like that and I get really, really lucky by getting him snookered behind the 8 ball. And the 4 went the complete opposite side of the table I thought it would. But yeah, as I was saying before, if you tense up, your wrist is supposed to be straight. Mine is a little bent this way, but it makes it even worse because if you tense up, your wrist tends to do this. And a 1 millimeter move on the tip can equal a foot by the time it travels up the table 6 feet. That's why you want to make sure everything's smooth. I've heard people say you're like creating a baby bird where you don't want to drop it, but you also don't want to crush it. I think Matt wanted a little bit more on that. I like the idea to go down into the 6, but no, that granted, he didn't leave me a shot, didn't leave me any way to get from the 4 to the 5. So I'm playing cue ball here, and I'm trying to get the cue ball. I'm going to draw a big circle. I just have to watch out for the 9. So I either have to plan to go above the 9 or below the 9. Or below or above, however you want to look at it. I went above it. I deleted my circle, but I think I got pretty good in the circle. And the 4 ball just happened to be, this is more an afterthought of luck that I happened to block it. I could have gotten, the 4 ball could have stopped here, would have been good. Stopped here would have been good. Stopped here would have been good. Stopped here would have been bad. But there's a lot of good places the 4 ball can stop. Here, I happen to just dead snooker him. Although I think he can hit it. I don't think he can make it. Maybe he can make it. It's hard to tell from here, and I keep moving my head over to try to see, but that doesn't work. I think he's going 2 rails underneath the 6, right at it, yep. And if he did not call that, he should have. And I don't think he has the 5 at all. Now, I remember looking at this thinking he was dead snookered. From this angle, it looks like he can clip the right side. Yeah, like that. It looks like he can clip the right side of the 5 using outside English, send the 5 this way, and send the cue ball 2 rails up this way. But because he's kicking it, I don't think he can. I think we're being deceived. Now, that shot, that's one of the reasons I like to go 2 rails into it. It takes the scratch almost completely out of the equation, unless you hit it firm and you go underneath the ball and then scratch this way. But as it is, going directly at it, your mind tends to just, it's amazing how much you scratch on those. Now this, I don't know what I did here. I wanted to stun it straight up. I didn't want this big of an angle to try to get to the 7. Now I have to try to kill the cue ball instead of just natural running angles. Now this isn't really a problem, but the more you add in, the more problems you add in, the more problems you cause for yourself. This is tough. I can try to play it in the side, try to stop the cue ball. I'll be kind of on the rail. I'll have a weird off angle thing on the 8, or I can take the better, what I feel is a better shot, and take the 7 up here and 1 rail into the 10 solid, which is a natural. I did hit the rail there with the 10 or with the 7, but it's more of a natural feel and a natural path of the cue ball. Now here, I don't know why I'm going low, because I kind of punched this forward, but it works. Kind of on the wrong side of the 9, but I have 6 pockets that 10 can go in. I probably should have paid more attention to which pocket I wanted to shoot the 10 in, because it was one, again, I think it was one of those shots like, I'll just shoot it over here and I should have a shot. As it is, this isn't bad. Just little things I'm nitpicking on myself. So I do win the 10 ball set 4-2, and actually, not to brag, I won 13 games in a row there. But in the real match, if it's tied 1 set to 1 set and it's tied 3-3 in 10 ball, they go to a spot shot shootout, and they've done this a couple times already. In fact, I think there were 3 or 4 in the first round already of 32 matches, 64 players. We are doing the spot on the actual spot rather than where Predator does it, because I don't want to draw another spot on my table. It is a break box of the first diamond over second diamond up, anywhere in that is possible. We are not moving it back like in the Predator ones. After the first few rounds, they move it back to 1 diamond and 1 diamond. We are doing 3 rounds, and if it's tied after 3 rounds, it goes into sudden death. So I chose, because I won the last game, I chose to shoot first. That's the benefit of winning the leg in the last game and things like that. And first round, we both make the ball, and now we just alternate sides. I mean, that's not... It looks like it's nowhere near the diamond, but that's because we're at an angle on here in physics and geometry and angles and perspective and 3D and stuff like that. Matt said, you can just throw that chalk at me or something like that. So I did. I mean, if it would have dropped in this drain down here or gotten ruined or something, I would have given him another piece. But yikes. So I overcut that. And Matt has a chance to go up here going into the third round. So these, like where the Predator puts the spot shot, you have to hit it a little bit differently. These, you can just smooth them in. So Matt is now up 2-1, and we are going to the third round, and this means if I miss this shot, I lose. Because the most I can get is 1, and Matt can then doesn't even have to shoot his next shot. He will win 2-1 since I missed. This is the pressure of the spot shot. I have not done this in any sort of match. I've practiced this on my own a million times, but maybe not a million, maybe. But I decided to put more firm stroke on it instead of kind of babying it and worrying about things and natural two-rail angle up top. So if Matt makes this, he wins the match or the shootout, and this puts even more pressure on Matt now. The pressure is weird in this shot. And he undercut it. So 3 rounds are over. It's tied 2-2. We are going into sudden death, which is basically 1-on-1. So I miss, he makes it, he wins. I make it, he misses, he wins. And we just keep going until one person wins. Now, at the last second, I decided to move the cue ball over here for reasons. And I overcut it even more than I did the first time. And Matt kind of asked me why I moved it. And I said, I don't know, it felt better. You can put it anywhere in that area. It doesn't really matter. You could put it on the rail right here if you wanted. You could put it in the pocket if you wanted. Everyone say hi to my wife, Tara. She is in a boot on a crutch. She had major reconstructive foot surgery in March and is just now being able to walk around. And she came down just in time to watch both of us choke on this ball. It is sudden death. I have to make this in order to go ahead. Yeah, she's just being able to put weight on her foot now. It's been a rough few months. Maybe I'll put an x-ray picture up somewhere of what her foot looks like with all the pins in it. I drain this and all the pressure's on Matt. It all comes down to this. This is the first time I'm ahead other than the first shot. This is the first time I'm ahead to win in the spot shot here. So basically Matt makes it. We go again. He loses, or he misses, he loses. And he flinched at that. You kind of saw the thing come up. I put my arms up in victory, and I win the shootout. So there it is. What do you think of this format? This is going to be a lot of fun in the actual match when I play it. I'm hoping, how do I put this? I hope I don't get to 10 ball, but that's because I won the first 2 rounds. But I really like 10 ball, so I hope I do get to 10 ball. But if I don't get to 10 ball, I hope it's because I won the first 2 sets and not because my opponent won the first 2 sets. I will have no idea who I play. They're doing a blind draw sometime after the player auction, which is May 25th of 2025. And I don't know if they're going to do the auction that day or the day after. That is the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend here in the United States. So the Monday is a holiday. I'm hoping he'll do it after that. I'm probably not going to be able to make it up there in person. I'm not really confident about myself in player auctions, Calcuttas, whatever you want to call them. So I have put in a blind silent bid for myself that he is aware of, and he will deal with that on my account. If someone else wants to bid on me, great. I don't think anyone else knows me or has seen me shoot. I'm not going to really post my channel all around so they can look at it, or maybe I'll post some videos that don't put me in a good light. But anyway, look forward to that. There is another video similar. I'll put a link up here to the 75 ball challenge. It's coming out soon. I do have 2 ghost matches so far shot in this format of this we're going to call it the knockout KO challenge. And at some point I would have put a flyer up for that so you can look at it. It's probably also in the thumbnail. But until then, do all the YouTube stuff, subscribe. I hit 245 subscribers. I was hoping to hit 250 by the time the video came out in some arbitrary thing, but my goal is 500 by the end of the year. I think we can do it. I am hoping that you people who are watching who are not subscribed will just hit that little button. You don't even have to hit the little bell, but you can if you want. And like I said, do all the YouTube things. So you can hit the bell, you can subscribe, you can leave a comment, you can reply to someone else's comment, you can what else can you do? You can choose default or theatrical view. You can choose full screen. Did I mention the little bell thing? I think I did. You can resize the window if you're on a computer. If you're on a phone, if you turn it this way or if you turn it that way, you can do that. What else can you do? You can search for stuff on YouTube. I don't know if you knew that. You can search for like funny giraffe videos or funny cat videos. Seem to be fairly popular on the internet these days. But I guess I don't know what else you can do on YouTube. Maybe let's bring YouTube up and see. I don't know why you're still here. You should just have clicked on something else by now. We'll see you.